In a teacher education program at CAPS, which is part of the Blue Valley School District in Overland Park, Kansas. And CAPS stands for Center for Advanced Professional Studies. How many of you are Game of Thrones fans? Any of you? A few? Okay, so you get our title. All right, thank you. So Game of Thrones, cute idea. They came up with the title, they came up with the presentation. We actually had people in our media department at CAPS, I'll talk about in a minute, actually created the logo for us. So real collaborative environment. This is our hashtag. If you have questions during the presentation, or if you'd like to talk to us afterwards, please feel free to use that hashtag to communicate with us. It'd be great.
Welcome to the Immersed. Through this presentation, you will learn about new ways to expose technology into the classroom. Sit back and relax as we journey through opportunities for mobile learning. That's all.
So these are your presenters. All of these students are juniors and seniors. They're actually only part of our group. The other part was at Girard yesterday presenting, so this is a totally different group, which brings up the logistics of creating a presentation where you have two different groups of people presenting the same presentation 2 days in a row, and how much work that is to get that all coordinated. So they've done a great job of getting all that smoothed out. But like I said, they are juniors and seniors. They are at our CAPS program half of their school day. So we're, what, 3 hours of your courses? They're at their home high school the other half of the day. And so we have a morning session, we have an afternoon session, and so these are a mix. So some of these folks have never even worked together, it's another logistical nightmare, have not even worked together in the same classroom ever so far this year. So because they're very into their morning or afternoon courses, they have to be, because then they have certain courses back from high school, so we can't blend them as much as we'd like to. Right. This is our CAPS building. CAPS began in 2009. And the first year that we had CAPS open, our district wanted to create a career-oriented center. And it's not a vocational center. It is a career-based, educational, project-based center. So our premise is to catapult students into career areas before they're even in college. And a lot of times we've had students rule out professions. So just as valuable as knowing that you want to maybe be a teacher is eliminating that idea and saying, this is not what I want to do. Because as you know, we want teachers who want to be teachers. I've had student teachers quit their last semester because they didn't really know what it all involved. These folks, by the time they get to college, will know. The first year we were embedded in different satellites. We only had a few programs open. We have strands ranging from bioscience to global business, to engineering, aerospace engineering, veterinary medicine, media and film, technology solutions. We have sports medicine, foundations of medicine, etc. So we have a lot of different career areas in one building. We loved being embedded in an elementary school our first year as a teacher ed program. We were part of assemblies and duties and so on and so forth. And when we did that, it was great because they saw another side of the education process. And then when we got the building the second year, we gained the collaboration with everyone, but we lost that embeddedness in a school. And so once a week, these folks actually go back to one of the elementaries in our district and actually do what we call duty assignments. So they help with some of those things like bus duty and lunch duty. They love lunch duty. I have no idea why. They have never, ever done chicken nugget day at high school. That's all I could say. Right? So they love those types of things, those interactions with the students. In addition to that, they're in the classrooms teaching. So they actually create lesson plans, they actually do face-to-face instruction. And so they're directly involved in the teaching process. With that, let's hear a little bit about CAPS.
I am the future of innovation.
Of imagination.
I am the future of biological science and technology.
By creatively and professionally expressing my ideas.
Into my field of interest.
And by creating solutions to world problems using technical knowledge.
I am providing a unique learning environment for education.
Law and safety.
I learned skills in the real world for my future in the field of medicine and healthcare.
We are the future. We are CAPS.
Okay, so as you can see, we have a lot of different career areas at CAPS, and we love the collaboration. A lot of times Teacher Ed will collaborate with other departments. We've done STEM lessons where we've actually worked with our bioscience and our engineering students and medicine students, and actually created virtual lessons that we've done with Manhattan, Kansas, fifth graders, 2 hours away. This year we're adding Spring Hill to the mix. So our students are actually in the classroom teaching virtually, teaching lessons on DNA, et cetera, because they've collaborated with these other students. We've also, this year, one of the projects we're doing is an aerospace lessons unit, where our students are actually working with the aerospace students, creating lessons to take into some of our middle schools. And so, our Teacher Ed students were creating KWL charts for them to take in to get started on these lessons. So they're coordinating both parts of those careers. We'd like to thank our business partners. We're business partners with BrainPop. One of the vice presidents at BrainPop actually used to teach in our district, teach elementary school. And that's another thing about CAPS is we talk about education as a career, not teaching, because some of these students might end up being corporate trainers, or they might work in other capacities for an ed tech company, or something like that. So we look at education as a career, not as a tunnel vision of this is what you're going to be doing, standing in a classroom talking to students. Microsoft is a partner. They actually provide resources for us and some training. And then TapTeach. Have any of you heard of TapTeach? Okay, TapTeach is a relatively new company, and they kind of came into our lives this summer. Spencer, right here, is a third semester student. Wave, Spencer. And she, we have 4 semesters in our program, and she's a third semester student, and I think is going to do a 4th once I run her off. They came into our lives and showed us these beacons that they have. And so in a classroom, a teacher can set up beacons and stations or centers, if you will, and students with their mobile devices can, within proximity of these beacons, have their mobile tools populated with content. So a teacher could set up these beacons and program them, and students could go from station to station and have the content come up on their mobile devices. We've actually turned that into a virtual tour at CAPS. So when we have visitors, we have a lot of them, they can actually take their mobile devices and walk through our building, and as they pass by some of these career programs, information populates to their mobile device to tell them about that particular program. And part because of Spencer, who stayed up some late nights, I think, and created content, actually created websites with roving galleries of pictures for each of those programs, so that's what comes up. And then I think recently he's met with us and actually given some students some administrative rights so that we can actually start using those beacons in other areas of CAPS to actually do what they had intended first, and that was to populate content within those classrooms. So, another great business project.
Okay, now if you guys can get on any mobile device, we would really like you to either scan the QR code of the free survey, or you can text. You can text 22333, and then once you get to that message, text CAPS teacher 277. If you need any help, all the students are walking around. Help you with that. And then once you get there, you can answer, you can either text A, B, C, or D, and the question is, I find technology useful and I am comfortable using it. Put 2 answers in, there's not more than 2 of them. 3.
I have 2 more. It's trying.
So it looks like we have a lot of comfort with using technology. Well, as I said that, then the agree bar just popped up there. So pretty even killed, but a lot of people feeling comfortable with it using technology. So we're glad you're at our session. So we hope you pick up some helpful resources.
And then we have question number 2, which is I use technology in the classroom. And again, if you're texting it in, it's just A, B, C, or D. Super simple.
Again, a lot of technology use in the classroom, so good. At the right session.
All right, and then the next question is, my students enjoy using technology in the classroom. As you can see, you can use just, if you haven't used Poll Everywhere, it is just a website that you can set up a survey. Be great to just give to your students. It's all anonymous, and it's just like a visual for you, a visual for them. Just to see if they if you want to do it for like an ASL, or to see where they're at beforehand, before you go into the actual lesson or the topic.
And it's good to see that we all have agreement that the students do enjoy using technology. That's great. Resounding 83%.
I think so. And last question is, technology improves my lesson plans and students' learning.
Okay, a little disagreement there, so we'll hope that you can convince them otherwise, right? With your presentation.
And then the rest of our presentation is going to be based around us showing you apps and different websites that you can integrate into the classroom, which give you a whole list of just options for you guys to use, and you can pick and choose which ones you think would work best in your own situation.
Okay, this is a quote that actually, I think it's 3 sound, 1 6 sound. Anybody makes a distinction between education and entertainment doesn't know the first thing about either one. And we almost named this session We Miss Recess because something happens in the educational process to take the fun away from education. I know when I was in elementary school, the teacher would say, let's write a story. I'd be, yes, there's so much to say. And then in high school, kind of like, how long does it have to be? We really don't have time for this. So we've lost some of the fun. And hopefully technology can have a place in adding in a little more of that fun to make education engaging and motivating. You've probably heard the term edutainment. Some people are using that for the types of technology to bring into the classroom to increase engagement. So hopefully today with the resources they're going to show you, that will be the case.
Okay, before you pick an app or website for your classroom, you have to consider why it's important to have technology and how even to pick exactly what you're going to use. Some reasons to use this technology is it increases communication between students and the teacher, as well as students and other students to work on projects. It gives them better access to learning materials versus going through a book and having to sift through all the pages to find an answer. They could simply just Google their question and get the answer right then and there. Student engagement, it really just makes them more excited to do something if technology is involved, because it's something they're used to, not something just boring like reading through a textbook. Convenience, most students have a mobile device at home, like an iPad or a computer even, or as they get older, cell phones, so it's just easy for everyone to get on, and it really applies to all learning styles. I know when everyone thinks of technology, they only think of visual learners, but you can find apps that apply to visual, auditory, and kinesthetic learners. When figuring out which app you want to use, you want to look at developmental appropriateness. That is based on your age group, how the app works. Like, you don't want to have an app for kindergartners that has things you wouldn't know about until you're in 5th grade, things that they just wouldn't understand. Instructional design is how well it fits with your lesson plan. If you have a lesson plan based on audition, you shouldn't have an app that has to do with reading. you can go to kahoot.it, and that's it. If you want to load that website on your phone on Safari, Chrome, whichever one you like. Yep. And it's just KAHOOT and then .it. Once you get there, if you want to type in the 6-digit PIN, it's 722627. Then it's going to prompt you with a name, and you can type in your name, and the name should show up down here. If you need any help with any of it, people can, there's a huge table of people who know how to use it.
Oh, I see we have George Clooney in the crowd. That's great. Oh, that's going to happen.
And then a great example, if you want to use this in the classroom and someone does something silly like that, Spencer can easily go over it.
Sorry, I eat babies, but that's not appropriate.
And you just got freaked out.
Good try.
You can rejoin if you would like. I eat babies.
So much for anonymity, right?
Is anyone else waiting on getting on here before we start? I eat babies. Are you cool? Are you with?
I'll just consume the bowl.
There you go. Hey, we're not going to do all 15 questions. We might do round 6. So the first question is, how many school districts in the U.S. use iPads in the classroom? So to answer the question, you can click any of these shapes on your phone, and that is your answer. All right, the correct answer was over 2,300, and George Clooney's in the lead. Not surprisingly, by the way.
Go George.
What percentage of teachers said classroom computers improve student performance? And the faster you get the correct answer, the more points you get, which is why Casey Webster and George Clooney was number 1. So the answer first. So we have a discrepancy. George Clooney is still in the lead. Darth Vader is right behind him. What percentage of high schoolers have access to a mobile device? Correct answer is 80, and only 3 got correct.
Ooh.
Oh, Angie's right up next to George Clooney. The same question about middle schoolers. What percentage of middle schoolers have access to a mobile device? 60, 75, 50, or 45? Can't read those. Oh, laser cam. Got it. Lead on that. And then our last question is, what percentage of elementary school students have access to a mobile device? And our winner is George Clooney, with second place is Darth Vader, and third place the laser beam.
So where is George Clooney?
You get a prize.
There's George Clooney. Yay!
Who was Darth Vader?
Hey!
And then third place gets a dum dum. Who was laser beam?
That's right.
So as you guys can see, Kahoot is a great way in the classroom for an AFL or an AOL. Students get immediate feedback, data, and results, so they can see right before the test what they need to study or what they don't need to study because of what they know. And it'll be a competition for the students because they can see everyone else and how they're doing. So they're going to want to do good.
the bouncy balls is a website that you can pull up on your screen and you can put it on your projector. The great use for it is when the kids are just working in groups and you're not teaching, they're working on projects or whatever. You can show this on the screen, and if you all want to scream, the balls will all go over the place. So if you all want to scream. So you can see, you can choose emojis or whatever, and it's just a great visual for the students and for you, just to keep it fun, to keep the noise level down, or big visual for the kids. And then there's eyeballs for Halloween. And that's just basketball.com.
This is Class Dojo. In Class Dojo, you add your students into a class, and then you can record their behavior or whatever, and then at the end of the day or at the end of the week or whatever, you can send it to administrators, parents, students themselves, and they can see how they behaved or whatever through that day or week. And it's all electronic versus having to do paper or whatever.
Alright, Pocket is an app on the App Store, and it's kind of similar, as people were saying, to Dropbox. It's a way, let's say you're working on a project and you find an article you really like, you can save that article into the app or save the video into the app. And something a lot of people also like about it is that it needs no internet connection, so you can use it at all times, and if you need to go back and find something, just go into the Pocket app and it's done.
So Seesaw is a website for taking notes. So if someone is studying something, they can take notes by either photos, videos, or different digital creations. So it's an incentive to take notes so you can study better. Teachers can access this and organize things. They can also invite the parents or families so they can watch what their students are learning and take notes from.
Alright, so I'm sure many of you have heard of Evernote before, and this is something similar. It's an app available on both Android and Apple, and it's basically an app to make flashcards. And what you can do is make flashcards on any subject electronically, and you can use the little iPad cover to flip up and use as a little flashcard cover, or if you don't have one, it creates a virtual one for you.
And I was just going to say, I personally have used Evernote Peak. I really like it because I had a chemistry class last year, and what I really like is you can make it into different subjects like reading, math, and I had like a chemistry subject, and I'd make flashcards, have the answers, and you pull the cover down, and they have a virtual one on there if you don't want to buy one, and just pull it up to see the answer. So it's very helpful. I personally really liked it.
So Notability is an app on Apple devices, iPads, or Mac computers, and it helps simplify note-taking for the students. The student can take your presentation, PowerPoint slides, whatever, and put it on their device and write, type, or record the lecture if needed right to there. They can make a note shelf and for different classes such as reading, science, math, and put all their notes stored in there so it will help them study for the test and be more organized so they can actually use their notes.
So I'm sure many of you have heard of BrainPop before, and BrainPop is also one of our business partners, and it is a great either website or app that you can use for resources for any subject grades K through 12, although it's mainly focused on kindergarten through 3rd grade. But I've watched videos in it in classes up to 6th and 7th grade usually. And it has a lot of different videos and games on all different subjects. And a lot of teachers have told me that they use it to support what they're teaching or even to transition into a new subject and get students kind of interested in a good introduction to different subjects that they learned, and then play games, and they even provide tests after that I've used before. So it's just a great resource for all of those things.
AV Mathlight is a free app, usually for younger kids, to practice your basic addition, subtraction, multiplication, and so forth. It starts off very easy and works its way up as you progress. So you take these quizzes and you play these games, and it saves your scores, and it's great feedback for your teachers, especially when you want them to be getting extra practice. You can see how many students are ahead and excelling in what you're teaching them, what students are behind, what students are in the middle. Gives you a good feel on where the class is and the topic that you're teaching.
I actually personally use this, lot of the time are lower level in math. And so this, like the free version has addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And it'll stay at the current level you are. So if they're having trouble with these subtractions, it'll stay at like the subtraction levels. And it's like easier to get them to focus because it's more like game-like. And so it's not like they're sitting there looking at a worksheet that has like 20 problems on it and they're like, oh, I have to do this. Like they actually get the immediate feedback and they get to just have fun with it.
So Telegami is a customized avatar that you could even make look like you, have all these different emotions, play with the clothing, play with the background, and you can record your voice and have your avatar say whatever you record. It is a great attention grabber when your students are kind of not very focused on what you're doing. You can just turn this on and they're all like, well, what the heck is that? And they're all watching it. So it's a very good way to get all of your students to pay attention to what you're trying to do.
Yeah, and a lot of teachers use it in directions. If they need to give directions on how to do something, they'll make it Telegami. They can make it look like themselves or someone else, and they can record their voice over it, which is actually really interesting. And it has, on the free app, there's a 30-second maximum, but on the EDU app, you can speak for however long you want. You can even make lessons out of them.
We actually used these in class the other day. We recorded our 30-second elevator speeches on there. And it's really fun because you didn't really have to say them, but you did anyway because you recorded your own voice on there. And actually, there have been studies shown that with autistic children, working with an avatar, like in Telegami, it helps them prepare for like a social situation. So if they really don't like to talk to people because they get really nervous, they've actually had made like a lot of research where they used an avatar to help their confidence in talking with people.
Telegami is a mobile app that allows you to create an avatar that communicates to your students in a new, fun way.
Okay, so now we're going to take a brain break. So everybody go ahead and get on your feet. Stand up, stand up. Everyone up.
The other room has a lot more of all of you guys up.
Totally jazzed for our dance workout? Sort of jazzed. I'm tired. So that's a yes. Hit it.
Okay, everyone wants to do it. It's not that hard.
It's kind of weird, but when everyone gets together, it's not as weird.
It's so much harder. Yeah, right. Make it happen. Jump right up. You gotta do it. We're doing it. Come on, don't be a guy on the line. Everyone can do it. You can't be that close. Don't be that close.
If you're not doing it, you're the odd one out.
Yeah, that's how everyone looks at us and laughs.
Yeah, like so much professional. There's always time. Just right there. Don't worry. Come on, this one's easy.
Yeah, Team Fresh should get up and do it with us.
Oh, I know. Not even Get in front of the camera. Okay. Well, we will make you do that
What was that?
Okay, go to godoodle.com and they have thousands of videos just like that from different guys, different people doing it. And we've done them like multiple times in class. I actually, in like my yearbook class, I have it, the yearbook kids do it as well, just like a little brain break in like high school. It's really fun. A lot of them.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Categories.
So now we have just some research to show how these actually help students, and that it's not just, it is fun form, but it actually helps them improve their focusness. So these studies were done by a student at Penn State University, and they studied the students' focuses before and after a short 3-minute brain break. And it started between 70 and 75%, and after a short brain break, they increased focus of 85 and 95%, as well as another study was done on the brains before a walk, and they took a test after, and as you can see, the students who took the walk had more brain activity going on, and they scored better on the test.
Okay, so Trigger Crack is also another kind of brain break tool where it keeps students engaged and it's really fun, but it also helps. There are 6 different things you can study, which are world geography, art, science, sports, entertainment, and history. So kids can try this app and just use it to compete against each other. It's really fun to learn about all these different things, but it's also a fun incentive to like study that, but also break from school. So it's really, really fun game.
Okay, this is abcmouse.com. It's a website, but really when it's for like preschool and also like kindergarten students, so they like understand what they're supposed to. There's been studies that show that a lot of kids that come into elementary school, they don't know how to count to 10, and they don't know all their letters, and it's really hard to like teach all the kids when they're at so many different levels. So this is like an interactive website that has many games that have the kids like learning different things, so when they start elementary school, they're ready to go and learn, and they've got a running start. It's actually free for schools, and so there's like a little tab on there, and it'll say, oh, if your school, click here. And it's free, but also for the parents, if they want to do it at home, it's free for the first month, and then $7.95 all the months following. Yeah.
I tried to set my kindergartners up with this with the free version, and I don't know if you have experience with the setup part of it.
Yeah.
But the shortcut, it just automatically puts them in the teacher's version. Like I don't know how to get what I need for the kids to be able to log in. Because it wants them to have an email and.
Yeah. I actually personally haven't tried to set up an account. I could probably go back and like we could give you a business card and like contact you like we go back.
We have a shortcut on our desktop now. Our tech put it on there, but it just doesn't work. It wants kindergartners to put in an email and a password.
Oh.
And
Okay.
that's not going to work.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
I would say one thing we've done in the past, and this might be a consideration, is we've created generic email accounts. So we have a CAPS Teacher Ed, a CAPS Teacher Ed 1, CAPS Teacher Ed 2, CAPS Teacher Ed 3, and then the students will use those generic email addresses so they don't have to use a personal email address. So that might be an option to have them do. And then you would control all the email addresses.
Alright, so Donville is a website, and basically what it is you can enter questions and answers from any subject, any study guide, and the website automatically turns those into a game. So you can just play all these fun games while trying to study, and it's a fun alternative to flashcards of the usual, and kids won't feel like they're studying at all. It'll be just a fun game to them, and it's just a fun way to both have fun and to learn the material at the same time.
Hey everyone, I hope you're enjoying this presentation. I was created by these awesome Blue Valley CAP students using Telegami, a mobile app.
Okay, so most of you have probably heard of or used Edmodo. If you haven't, the best way I could possibly describe it is an educational Facebook. So each teacher can make their own page, which is private, that you can add all of the students as well as their parents if necessary. And you can post assignments, or you can post reminders, or the students can have easy communication with you as a teacher if they have any questions over what they missed during the school day, or a long 3-day weekend and there's a presentation due and they just have this crazy question and they just have to ask you. Very easy communication, again, between student and teacher. You can turn in your assignments also through Edmodo, so it's a lot of everything in one spot, so you aren't just going to a million different post that, post a little bit about what the article is about, and then later on you had to go during the week and comment on 2 other people's accounts, saying like what they thought, what you thought was awesome about it, what you didn't like, what like it could have done better, like the article could have done better, and that was like really like fun because you're like sitting there and you have like a connection with like all the students. I know we also use this for National Honor Society, and if you miss like a short meeting, they post what they went over, and you also can put we have our papers for community service hours are on there all the time, and so if you need them in the middle of the night, you can just print them off right there, and don't have to worry about going to your teacher. Okay. This is the WWF app. It is through the World Wildlife Fund, and basically it gives a lot of facts about different animals around the world. It is free, and it's good for all ages, but mostly it's geared towards elementary schoolers because, as you can see here, these are screenshots from our iPad, and it just gives short little facts about each animal and what you can, like what they do, and every time you download it, it supports the WWF fund, even though it's like free, so it just kind of gives you your support for it. And it's really nice just to have, so you have like a basic overview of like a lot of animals.
Okay, and then this is clickers, and has anyone used clickers before? So do you want us to show you how to do it if you guys, the majority of you know, or do you still want us to go through it? Yes? Okay. So clickers are just those little answer keys, so if you guys can utilize those now.
Okay, so clickers are they're kind of like Kahoot, but not as much of a game. And each student gets one of these. They could be like a whole page or a half page or a quarter page, however you want to make them. It's how you answer the questions. Basically, look at them. There's like a little A on the top, so you think the answer is A, or this one, in this case, is a poll on the question. You hold up A first, and then the teacher just scans the whole classroom and he gets everyone's answers all at one time. Put them on the screen, and a lot of the times you can set it to give a graph so you can see everything. And then it'd be great for the classroom because at first, like that's a lot of paper. I have 20 students, 20 pieces of paper all the time is a lot, but you can set a specific clicker to your student and keep it there all year and have how binders have that little clear flap in the front. You can stick it in.
Have them keep holding their papers up because when we put them down. Yeah, hold your papers up with your answers.
Hold your papers up. We're gonna got 9 right now. And there's 12 of you. I'm gonna run it. 14, 15. I guess I'm scanning multiple times. Very good. So okay, you can see how it just pulled up what everyone said, and it'll give you that. And also you can check and see that how many people have answered it, so you can make sure that everyone in the class got a chance to answer the question before you go on. And do we want to do one more?
Another thing about clickers is it kind of eliminates the whole, all right, everyone go turn in your quizzes, and eliminates like a lot of the grading process, and it helps eliminate cheating and plagiarism.
Okay, so Quizlet is another online study tool. This one you can actually create an account and play games on it. Take quizzes to see how you're doing, collaborate with other teachers and students, and it's a great way to study and learn.
Okay, so this is Pinterest, which many of you have probably used. We have a class page, Cast Teacher Ed. On our page, which you're more than welcome to follow, we have multiple different boards. We have mobile technology, which is actually where we have a lot of stuff linked that we are showing you today. But then we also have lots of different ones, like classroom management, or communication, middle school, elementary, all different kinds of boards to be able to find more ideas. And if you have any ideas, you're more than welcome to send them to us, and we can have them support too.
Okay, this is Remind, and used to be Remind 101. Have any of you used this previously? Great, okay. We use it for student communication with myself and also for parent communication. We use this to send out text reminders to the students instantly. So if they have a reminder, like meet at the school at 6 a.m. to leave, or don't forget we have a field trip tomorrow, you need to have this form in. It's an easy way to get them, and they're all using their phones, so it's a quick text to them. The other way is with parents. I always take a group of students to the National FBA, now it's Educators Rising Conference. Last year it was in Washington, D.C. And going to Washington, D.C., I had the parents of the students who traveled with us join a Remind group. And that's another thing. You don't have to enter your students manually, all of them together. They can join themselves with a code. And so the parents joined this group, and I felt very comfortable that if something happened on the trip, I could text the parents instantly, and they could hear something from me before they saw it on the news. I felt comfortable with that. The other is Canvas. They're actually here as a vendor today. We're actually using Canvas in our teacher ed program as a learning management system. We used something different last year. The students really like it. The setup of it, there's a calendar. In fact, the students that are back in the classroom today that are not with us are actually on Canvas. They can submit assignments, check the calendar for upcoming things that are going on, field trips, etc. We use it in a very productive way. And we're into experimentation in teacher ed as well, looking at the best practices that we can, and Canvas is one that we found that we really like.
This is an additional way for teachers to incorporate technology in classrooms.
Okay. I'm going to go back to Google Docs real quickly. Love that. There you go. Okay. I know that a lot of you probably use Google Docs, Google Drive, Google Slides. In fact, we actually created this presentation using Google Slides. Each of the students started with his or her own slide and then developed from there. Have any of you used Octopus? No Octopus users? I just like to say it, Octopus. Octopus is an add-on for Google Drive. If you haven't used it, I hate to sound cliche, but it has changed my life. Octopus is the add-on, is something I can use to send out templates to the students. So normally they can edit simultaneously on a Google Doc. This actually allows me to send out templates to each of them, and it creates a folder automatically for each student. So for example, when we do lesson plans, I can send out the lesson plan template, and they can actually do their own work on each of those templates. It saves it directly in that folder, and when I get ready to assess, the folder is right there. And I can go to that folder to do it.
So is it different than Google Classroom is?
Actually, we don't have Google Classroom because we don't have Google email and all of that intertwined. So we kind of have to do it on the fly. And
but your students do have school-issued emails.
We do, and this year they went to an Outlook-based rather than a Google-based. But we still like Google Docs for the reason that a lot of these students will be in schools that may or may not have either platform, and I would like to pigeonhole it to one platform. I like them to be adoptable, and so we're still using Google Docs, and so the Octopus is allowing me to do some of those things that maybe you could do in Google Classroom, but we don't have access to that.
So do they have to use their own personal Gmail account?
They do. We actually have them create a professional Gmail account, so they can't be hotsoccerbabe@421@gmail.com. We had that conversation. We spend a lot of time talking about personal versus professional technology. So when they come in, they all have Twitter, but I make them create a professional Twitter. They follow Daniel Pink, Will Richardson, some of those folks. So we do a lot of talking about that anyway. And besides that, they lose their school emails when they graduate. And in this program, we get into so many programs like their professional Twitter, like Edmodo, some of those things that they try, and we have alum then that go into teacher ed programs at the university level, and they're trying to use things from their portfolios, and if they've logged in with that other email, they've lost it. So we kind of keep that for consistency as well. Blaberize. Blaberize is actually the program we use to create the Game of Thrones man talking. Okay, and the students like it, they can actually take a picture, and with Blaberize you can put points on the mouth, on the picture, and then you can actually have the picture talk. So think of how much more exciting it would be with an elementary student doing a report on Abraham Lincoln than to talk about him than to have Abraham Lincoln talk, right? And actually give the speech. So it's just another way to engage students in a fun way. Not so much these guys, but in the past when we've done things with avatars, Blaberize, things like that, it's taken them hours because they sit and try to tweak everything and make it their own. So.
Thank you all for coming. We hope you enjoyed this presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to ask any of the CAP students. That's all.
QR code.
The question is, this presentation has made me reconsider my thoughts on technology.
So we have some dissension in the ranks. We still don't have some disciples.
I want to integrate more technology into the class.
Okay, good. Let me go to the next one.
Thanks for coming. Thank you
Thank
for
you so much.
watching our presentation.
Sorry, guys.
No, we were.
If you guys have any questions, feel free to come up and talk to us.